Tab Hunter was once the definitive symbol of American masculinity, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed archetype of cinematic perfection, whose smile sold millions of movie tickets and adored countless magazine covers. To the adoring public, he embodied an ideal, possessing the kind of fame and romantic appeal that seemed lifted from a fantasy. Yet beneath the meticulously crafted veneer of the all-American heartthrob lay a profound and agonizing reality. A life of immense personal turmoil and concealed truth. For decades, this reality remained a closely guarded secret, a shadow existence dictated by the ruthless machinery of the Hollywood studio system. It was a life characterized not by the glamour the world witnessed, but by fear, manipulation, and the systematic erasure of his authentic self. The true narrative of Tab Hunter is not merely one of stardom, but a poignant examination of the human cost of fame in an era of intolerance. A story of a man who was worshipped as a national icon, yet was never permitted to truly know himself, until it was almost too late. The origins of this profound internal conflict can be traced to a profoundly difficult and lonely childhood. Born Arthur Kelm in New York City, his entry into the world was marked by immediate abandonment. His father's sole visit to the hospital was a fleeting, silent affair, culminating not with a blessing or a name, but with a solitary chocolate bar left on the bed before he disappeared forever. This early rejection was compounded by a cold and emotionally distant upbringing under the care of his German immigrant mother, Gertrude, a woman from whom hugs or words of affection were utterly absent. Young Arthur's world was one of financial struggle and emotional isolation, a bleak landscape where he quickly learned his feelings were a liability. He sensed his difference from other boys not as a phase, but as a fundamental truth of his being. A realization that crystallized during a formative experience at a church camp. A secret, innocent kiss with a friend became a catastrophic event, leading to his public shaming and expulsion by the camp nuns, who labeled him a sinful pervert. The long, solitary walk home in the rain was a physical manifestation of his spiritual exile. An ordeal that ended not with maternal comfort, but with his mother's cold accusation. "Why did you bring such shame to me?" This sequence of rejection from his father, the church, and finally his own mother forged a deep-seated fear that would dictate his life for years to come. This entrenched fear made him a perfect target for the predatory kingmakers of Hollywood. Discovered by agent Henry Wilson, the shy Arthur Kelm was systematically dismantled and reassembled as a marketable product named Tab Hunter. The name itself, suggestive of a predator or a debt, was imposed without his consent, the first of many liberties taken with his identity. Wilson, an architect of public personas for stars like Rock Hudson, recognized in Tab the perfect combination of breathtaking beauty and a vulnerable, hidden secret that could be used as leverage. Overnight, Tab was thrust into the spotlight, his face and sculpted physique becoming ubiquitous on the pages of Life and Photoplay. Yet every public appearance was a carefully orchestrated lie. His dates with starlets like Natalie Wood were publicity stunts. His interviews were scripted, and his entire existence was micromanaged to project an image of wholesome, heterosexual virility. Behind the scenes, Wilson's control was absolute and invasive, extending to late-night interrogations about his personal life and unannounced, intimidating visits to his home. This control was enforced with the implicit and sometimes explicit threat of exposure, ensuring Tab's compliance. Any genuine romantic connection, such as his relationship with a man named David, was ruthlessly quashed by Wilson, who would threaten and drive away anyone who posed a risk to the fabricated public image. Tab Hunter was not living a life, he was performing one. A mannequin of masculinity propped up by fear. Within this gilded cage, Tab's heart struggled to find moments of authentic connection, all of which were forced to exist in the shadows. His most significant relationship during this period was with actor Anthony Perkins, a fellow rising star trapped in the same clandestine world. Theirs was a romance of profound secrecy, conducted in whispered conversations and stolen moments, always with the paralyzing fear of discovery. They lived mere blocks apart in West Hollywood, yet they were worlds apart in public, carefully navigating separate paths to avoid suspicion. This double life took a devastating toll, fracturing the relationship not from a lack of feeling, but from the unbearable pressure of maintaining the facade. The precarious nature of this existence was shattered when Confidential magazine, a notorious scandal publication, ran a story alluding to a Hollywood golden boy and his private whispers. Accompanied by a grainy photo of Tab and Anthony. Though no names were printed, the insinuation was clear, sending shockwaves through the industry and sparking a furious backlash from fans and moral guardians. The public relations machine, helmed by Wilson, swung into action with a ruthless and calculated response. A fake relationship with a woman was fabricated. A payoff was made to the magazine to bury the story. And Tab was pushed to perform the song Young Love on The Ed Sullivan Show, a desperate attempt to reinforce his heterosexuality for a national audience. It was on this night, at the height of this manufactured redemption, that Tab received a final, heartbreaking note from Anthony Perkins, ending their relationship with the words, "I can't do this anymore. They'll destroy both of us." The public smile hid a profound private devastation. The scandal was merely a prelude to a more direct and humiliating attack. In 1952, Tab attended a small private gathering in Walnut Park, unaware that the police had the location under surveillance. In a coordinated raid, officers stormed the party, and Tab Hunter was publicly arrested and dragged away in a chaotic scene, deliberately captured by a confidential photographer. While Tab was not involved in any illicit activities, his mere presence at a party deemed immoral was enough to fuel a media firestorm. This event was not a coincidence, but a calculated betrayal. Evidence later suggested that his own manager, Henry Wilson, had directed the Scandal magazine's attention toward Tab as a sacrificial offering to protect his more valuable asset, Rock Hudson. The resulting headlines, such as "Wild Pajama Party Exposed," portrayed Tab as a debauched hypocrite, and the public outrage was immediate and severe. Warner Brothers was flooded with letters demanding his dismissal. Casting office evaporated, and his reputation lay in tatters. The studio's attempts at damage control, including charity events with actresses and legal maneuvering, were futile. The final blow came in the form of blackmail from a former lover who threatened to sell their intimate letters, forcing Tab to drain his savings to buy silence. Ultimately, he was released from his studio contract, his career as a leading man effectively over. The America's Golden Boy was now a pariah, abandoned by the industry that created him. In the subsequent years, Tab Hunter became a ghost in the Hollywood machine, relegated to B-movies and regional theatre, while the tabloids continued to hound him. His financial and emotional resources were depleted by a constant battle to protect the truth of his private life. He described this period as one of shrinking until no one remembered to hate me anymore. However, his story does not end in obscurity. In a remarkable third act, he experienced a creative and personal rebirth. He embraced unconventional roles in independent cinema, most notably in John Waters' Polyester, a move that reintroduced him to a new generation as a figure of subversion and camp. More importantly, at the age of 74, he finally seized control of his own narrative by publishing his memoir, Tab Hunter Confidential, publicly coming out and detailing the decades of deception and fear. This act of profound courage allowed him to live his final years in peace and authenticity with his partner Alan Glazer. Tab Hunter's journey is the tear-stained truth behind the iconic smile. A story of survival, resilience, and the ultimate triumph of self-acceptance over a lifetime of imposed silence.